This is Sport, guys. We've got a special guest from Newcastle today. His name's Andrew Nabbout, and he's a professional football player for the Newcastle Jets. Please welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No worries, man. No worries. So first off, really exciting game the other day between Newcastle and Sydney. And it was great to see you opening the match with a goal as well. So well done for that. An unfortunate end as it came to an 87th minute goal from Sydney to make the game 2-2. Newcastle are playing great at the minute. You guys are playing really well. You're sitting second in the league. How do you feel after the Sydney match?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was, they're obviously on top of the table, it was always going to be a tough game for us. But, considering we had that many injuries and we put on a performance like that, it was really positive from our team and it gives us, real confidence going into the finals. But, yeah, it was good to get a goal, but unfortunately, a lapse in concentration in the dying minutes cost us. But, no, it was a positive point to take and hopefully we can kick on from here.
Definitely. What age did you start playing football?
I started playing when I was 4. I pretty much had a ball at my feet from when I could walk. So from when I was about 4, I started playing, and I was playing, up an age level for a few years, and then, eventually, caught up with the rest of my age group. But, I started really young, and that's how, hopefully one day if I have kids, that's how, I'd want it to be as well, because I really got a head start.
Yeah, so you felt like you were always proving yourself in the ages above. You were keeping up with their level and things like that.
That's it, exactly right. It gives us, it gives you a kind of perspective of what you're going to come up against when it comes to your age group, and when you get there, you'll obviously be ahead of the rest, which was good for me. And I played all my childhood kind of playing up an age group just to kind of stay ahead.
Yeah. So you've obviously played you've played since you were 4 years old. And I think I started playing when I was about 5. When I was growing up, I supported Liverpool, they're my childhood team. My favorite player was Steven Gerrard. Who was your favorite player when you were growing up? Who did you look up to?
Well, I'm a huge Liverpool supporter as well, which is it's good to hear from you. But my idol was Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. He was kind of someone that I watched from a very young age. He was kind of the player that I wanted to grow up and be like. So he was definitely one of my idols. But as I grew up and he retired, it kind of swayed towards the Luis Suarez and those sorts of players that are in a similar position to me. And I was lucky enough to play against Suarez as well.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Against Gerrard, which was very, very good. But, once you come up against those guys, you just realise what kind of a level they're on, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. It was. I was actually at the game myself. I flew over from Perth to watch the game. It was amazing. The atmosphere at the MCG that day was unreal. It was next to none. And what did you feel when you were playing up against them players? Because you obviously said you looked up to players like Luis Suarez and stuff. When you actually came to the game, what was it like?
To be honest, I tried not to think about it because I wanted to put in a performance, but it's just hard not to try and soak it all in because it's not every day you get to play against players that you've grown up watching, and players like Gerrard who I don't think he got out of first gear the whole game, but he even towards. Obviously, they had only started pre-season, so I don't think they were really pushing that hard. So, but even at that level, he was just a class above. Every time he got the ball and he zinged like a 60-meter diag and it hit someone's feet, and I kind of had to stop and soak it all in because you don't really see players do that on a consistent basis, and just to go up against someone who did that with only, he'd only been training for a week and a half or 2 weeks in pre-season. So
the ability he had to pass a ball, 40, 50 meters and it go to someone's foot, pinpoint to the foot, it's unreal. And as you said then, it didn't really ever look like it took much effort for him to do that, it's incredible. Yeah, the fact that you got to play against him, man, it makes me jealous. Very jealous.
It was unbelievable. And even when Suarez came on, I think it was at the time where he was he wasn't in a good spot with Liverpool. I think he wanted to leave or there was some stuff going on, but he still came on and played unbelievably. He assisted in the goal, and he just took on 3 or 4 players to set up the goal. And they're the kind of moments where you sit back and you're like, wow, that's someone I really want to learn from. And I always grew up watching Suarez, but that game really opened my eyes and kind of made me watch videos of him all the time, because that's the kind of player I wanted to be. So.
You played for Negeri Sembilan in the Malaysian Premier League for a little bit as well. And how did you find the move going from one A-League team to another? So going from Melbourne Victory to Newcastle Jets.
Yeah, so the move to Malaysia was obviously, it was my first time living away from home, and that was difficult for the first few months. But I had my partner with me, and she was really supportive, so that helped. And then coming back to Newcastle, it was kind of a no-brainer, because the flight from Melbourne to Malaysia was 8 hours, and the flight to Newcastle was only an hour and a half. So it was really easy to visit family and whatever. So to move from Victory, obviously being the biggest club in the league at the moment, their facilities and their crowds and their memberships are obviously the pinnacle of the league. So to move from there, it was kind of good for me, because it allowed me to, sort of enjoy and concentrate on my football a lot more. I mean, Melbourne's, it's a very hectic lifestyle and the environment. And obviously, because I'm from there, you have so much family and, there's so much going on all the time. But, in Newcastle, like right now, I'm at the beach, and it's just a very, very relaxed lifestyle. And I think that's kind of carried on through to my football. I feel a lot more relaxed when I'm playing. I don't feel that kind of the stress and pressure that I kind of did at times at Victory, and I think that's what's helped me perform a lot better at Newcastle. And it's a really great club here. The boys are unreal. The club's unreal. The town's really good. So it was an easy decision for me to re-sign here for another 2 years.
Great stuff, man. Yeah, it's good to hear. Do you have any pre-game rituals that you do? I remember when I was playing football, there'd be a couple of guys that would tie the shooting boot first and things like that, or they'd eat a certain meal the night before. Is there anything that you sort of do before a game?
Yeah, well, I have to eat pasta before the game, and at lunchtime before the game, and that's just, it's not a superstition. It's just trying to fuel my body with the correct food. And but in terms of superstitions, I had a few growing up, but I kind of grew out of them. There was kind of always there's certain socks I'd have to wear or something like that, but I grew out of it. Eventually mature enough to not really care about those sorts of things. So it's helped me a lot, to be fair, getting rid of all those superstitions. It's a lot less stressful and a lot less to think about during the game, and it kind of gives my mind a little bit more freedom to think about what I actually have to do, rather than the little good luck and bad luck charms, as you could say.
Definitely, yeah. And what, for you, would you say is your biggest goal in your career that you want to achieve?
Well, I've got a couple. Obviously, I'd love to play for the national team. Obviously, I'm born here, and be able to go and play in a World Cup or just to represent my country would be a massive, massive goal for me. I've dreamt about it since I was a kid, and that's what I work towards every day. Obviously, it always plays on the back of your mind, and it kind of gives you something to work towards. And the other one is just to by the end of my career is just to be financially set up for my family's sake and for myself, obviously, because footballers' careers don't last very long. You're lucky to last your mid-30s, and the goal is to make as much money and play as much football before then, because after that it's life after football, and people cope with it and people don't. So it's always easier to be financially set up by that time.
That's a great one, to be honest with you. Now, the F3 Derby is coming up on Tuesday, the 9th. For everyone watching and listening, the F3 Derby is Newcastle Jets versus Central Coast Mariners. The last time you guys played, it was 5-1 to Newcastle, which was, great for yous. Are you going to go in with a similar game plan to last time? And are you looking forward to the game itself?
I think it's a very good game for us, because, we've got a couple of players coming back, and obviously after the performance we put in against against Sydney, it gives us massive confidence going into this game. And if we start the way we did against Sydney and play against the Mariners like we did throughout the whole game against Sydney, it's it's going to be very hard to stop us. And we've got the new player Rodriguez that's come in today, and just watching him in training, he's on a different level as well. He's come off a plane 2 days ago, and
wow,
and it's like he was here the whole time. So he's quality to have, and I can't wait to be on the pitch with him and see what he's capable of in the league. But coming up against the Mariners, it's a huge game for us. It's a massive game for our supporters, and it's another chance for us to really stamp our authority on the league and keep bridging that gap between us and the third and fourth. They know the